99 Decisions, the podcast where we crash into the facts about drunk driving, minus the crashing part. I'm Gurm, your host, and today I brought some experts who will help us steer safely through the science behind drinking and driving, and show us why alcohol and the wheel don't mix. For our first guest, we have Davis Gordon, a 15-year neurologist from Johns Hopkins University who knows all about the brain's traffic jams.
Hello, Gurman. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. So, our first couple of questions: what happens in the neural highways in our brain when driving under the influence of alcohol, and what part of the brain gets impaired?
That's a great question. Okay, so when you get behind the wheel after drinking, alcohol slows neural communication and dulls your brain's prefrontal cortex. The control center is for someone's judgment, reasoning, and motor coordination. It's basically like your brain's traffic lights going wild. The reaction time starts to slow and control plummets, which greatly increases the chance of a collision. Alcohol interferes with the cerebellum, the part of the brain that manages balance and timing. That's why drunk drivers over or understeer, misjudge distances, and think that they're driving fine when they're definitely not.
So basically, your brain turns to a confused GPS that can't tell left from crashing into a mailbox. Got it. Well, how much alcohol does it take to impair someone's senses?
Research shows that someone with a BAC of just 0.07% still feels the effects. However, it's all depending on your body weight. The lighter you are, the fewer drinks you're able to have before you can drive. Only 1 to 2 drinks can cause a person with a lower body weight to be impaired or even completely intoxicated. But remember, your BAC goes down by only 0.015% every hour. For example, if you have a body weight of 140 pounds and you have had 3 drinks, it would take you around 3 hours to legally be able to drive. So make sure to take that into account every time you're driving home after you drink.
Thank you so much, Davis.
No problem, Gurman. It's been a pleasure being here.
Next, I'd like to welcome our next guest, Bryce Gordon, 5 times NAACP award winner, substance abuse counselor, and Stanford graduate. Bryce, if we know all this bad information about drinking and driving, why do people still do it?
Well, many people drink to cope with mental stress or depression. Alcohol boosts dopamine, which is the chemical in your brain that makes you feel good, but it also rewires the reward system. Over time, your tolerance goes up, meaning you need more alcohol to feel the same relief, setting you up for addiction and more risk taking behavior. Drunk driving often happens because people think they're still in control when they're definitely not. Impaired brains can't accurately judge risks. Alcohol lowers inhibition and raises confidence, which is a terrible mix when wanting to drive. Treatment and prevention need to address those root mental health issues, not just the drinking itself. Um, theory, Therapy and peer support go a long way in breaking that loop.
So basically, trying to drink away stress is like trying to fix a fire by throwing more matches on it. That's good to know. Finally, I'd like to welcome our world-renowned psychologist and Yale graduate, Mr. Marcus.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So, Marcus, we have a question. What happens after someone gets caught drinking and driving, or worse, causes a crash?
The mental the mental impact of these events are brutal. Many DUI offenders face shame, guilt, depression, anxiety, and even PTSD, if especially if accidents harm others. The emotional toll reinforces cycles of drinking and hopelessness. Research from McLean Hospital shows that alcohol can disrupt brain areas linked to emotion and impulse control, making people more vulnerable to mental instability after drinking. This is why mental health care, such as therapy, mindfulness, or group support, must be part of recovery, not just punishment.
Mm. So the emotional crash can be worse than the physical one. Thank you so much, Marcus. Before we wrap this episode up, let's talk about the money. Bryce, how big is the economic hit from drunk driving?
It's massive. Millions spent on legal fees, medical bills, insurance hikes, lost productivity, and more. Prevention saves lives and money. On average, a DUI can increase a driver's annual premium for insurance by nearly 86%. In 2025, one analysis found the average annual cost for a driver with a DUI was $3,737, which is $1,725 more than the average for a driver with a clean record.
Wow, that's a lot. Davidson and Marcus, what should every human know about protecting their brain and mental health when it comes to drinking and driving?
Well, you only have one brain, so avoid drinking and driving to any extent. And be sure to get a designated driver or Uber whenever you can.
Also, never hesitate to seek help if you're struggling with substance use, or mental health issues. It's a sign of strength, not weakness.
So here's what we learned today. Alcohol hijacks your brain, messes with your judgment, and damages your mental health long after the hangover fades. It's not just a legal problem, it's a neurological and psychological one. Get help if you need it. Don't drive under the influence, and remember, your brain deserves better mileage than you think. Thanks to Davis, Bryce, and Marcus for joining us, and all of you for listening. Stay safe, think smart, and keep your brain in gear.